welcome back. It's Melanie. I am here to do a flip through of the first quarter of 2023 in my Hobonichi cousin. As you can see, January has absolutely nothing. I switched into this planner from the Erin Condren Teacher Planner, I think the 3rd or 4th week of January. So I was still using my EC monthly for my remix and appointments. So I did not do anything with the monthly for January. But I did really jump in February after I had been using this planner for a couple weeks. I was like really shocked at how much I loved it and how much it worked for my lifestyle. So I didn't even put a monthly sticker on there because, again, I was still kind of finding my way with this at the beginning of the month. And for me, the monthly is all about the remix and the stickers. So when I finally committed to using this planner, that was the thing I missed the most, was the monthly remix part of it. But in March, I realized that Tipsy Dog Design, who is my favorite, not only sticker shop, but one of my favorite humans. And so I started messing with some of the stickers that she had. Her subscription has slightly smaller stickers, so I did sign up for a full year's worth of subscriptions from that. And she also does a custom release once a month where you can have stickers say anything. And so I bug her and make her make them just slightly smaller so they will fit in my Hobonichi. But that is how my March turned out. I loved this kit and was not at all sad about looking at it all month. I thought it was a great one. So it's I think it was 206. It was Tranquil Trees. All right, so this is the first week that I actually used the weekly section of this book. So this was the week of January 23rd. It was a great week to try and plan in it, and my idea was just to film a YouTube video about how our kits worked in this planner. And it was a great week for me to do that because my husband and I took a little trip from Monday to Wednesday and went to snowshoe so that he could go skiing. So it was a great week to try it. I definitely found my groove over the next few weeks of this planner. I really enjoy the hourly layout so that I can like track work tasks and the time I'm spending on different tasks. And I, from the very beginning, with the exception of the first week, I have been tracking my hours worked. And while it's a little bit startling because I do have an unhealthy work-life balance, it's also showing me a lot about kind of cutting back the work a little bit and enjoying my life a little bit more. So that has been awesome. So this was the first week in February. I loved this kit. I'm not a holiday decorator. I very rarely put holiday kits in my planner, so this was like kind of a nice intro into February and Valentine's Day. One of the things I realized this week was that the bottom of the planner was very bare and it felt very top heavy, and while it is just supposed to be functional, I also want it to be pretty to look at. So the following week I did not use a kit. I actually forgot to take one home with me, and that was when I was planning at home. And so I just grabbed a washi sheet and some icons, and I actually really like how this turned out. I wish there was a little bit more color in the washi that I had at home, but this kind of then started me having to-do lists at the bottom half of the page, which has worked out really nicely. And I also started I don't think I tracked my reading. Yeah, I started tracking my reading and I watched my weight, so I was tracking my weight every Thursday and putting that at the bottom, which I really also liked doing. So this is now the 20th of February week. Everything was just kind of falling into place. I rely on this week section heavily. Again, I love to track my work hours, and having that to-do list at the bottom was really nice. I do think going into the second half of April, I'm going to try something different with the bottom half, so we'll see how that goes, but this process has been working really well for me. So this is the 27th of February week. I used one of our journaling palettes instead of a kit. That was so fun. I can't wait for the next one that we release that is like my kind of color palette and scheme, because I'm totally going to do it again. And this is the 6th of March week. Loved this kit. I thought the colors were super soothing and calming. You can see I didn't fill out a ton in the weekly this week. I didn't fill out different tasks and things like that I was doing, and that was okay with me. It does look a little bit bare, but I find that the daily parts of this planner are really where I shine and can really make it functional for me. Loved this kit. Greenery 210. The brown and kind of like the brownish mauve that's up here, not for everybody. I fully realize that, but I love earth tones, and this one just really made me happy. I even started using some of my Coffee Monsters Co. stickers that I've had in my stash for years, and those made me happy. Still tracking the reading at the bottom, my to-do list at the bottom, along with some of the tasks in the daily section, and this is in the top half of this. And I think this is kind of what I'm going to migrate towards in April to see if it works a little bit better for me. My daughter's becoming involved in one of our local churches, so there are going to be evening things that I need to be putting in here, so I'm going to need some of this real estate down here anyway. So March 20th week, hardly used my weekly at all this week, but it still made me happy to look at when I was referencing things inside of here. And then this is the last week in March. I used the Country Morning kit, which just really made me smile. These little chicken birds just gave me light, and the color palette is just so springy and vibrant. So still everything looking good. I did put more of the tasks up here in the main body. I am liking how that worked out. I know why I was doing the task at the bottom, but this really kind of helps me focus on an hourly or half-hourly time frame. So, okay, we're gonna go ahead and flip over to the dailies because that is the last week in March, and hopefully I will do another one of these come the end of the second quarter. All right, so Monday, January 23rd was the first day I actually used this planner. I had planned for the week for it the prior Thursday, but I just kind of put it away and didn't do too much with it. And as you can tell, super bare. This was also when we were out of town, so there wasn't really a whole bunch to put in it. I did work a little bit while we were out of town, but I really wanted to focus and on relaxing and just kind of having some time to myself, which was definitely achieved. So this goes in back to work and doing all of that. So you can see I've started using some checklist, and that the layout was super clunky, and this was when I just really wasn't sure that this planner was going to work for me. So it took me, I think, a couple of weeks to really get to figure out what I wanted to do. This dashboard situation was a whole nother thing. I hate that blank page, and it like falls right in the middle of the week, you know, depending on when your month starts, and I just hated looking at that. So I think for April, I finally found a solution that will work for me. So I'll probably be going over that in the next video, but still just looking a little awkward. Like just all this empty space that isn't utilized well. I also found that some days I really actually had quite a bit I wanted to journal about, so I wanted to give myself a little bit more room for those particular days. Now some days I just journal a couple sentences, and that's okay with me, but I did realize that something wasn't quite right with this. So finally, after I had been in this planner for about 3 weeks, I realized, okay, I'm going to give myself the right column for journaling and the left column for to-dos, and that worked out much better. Still looking blank because this is a week I did not have a kit, but as you can see, it just starts looking a little more balanced, a little more filled out, a little more cohesive. So that takes care of that. Then we moved into the week that I used, I think it was 214 Rosy, super pretty kit. Was not sad to flip to the next week though, so everything is getting better. I decided I wanted to start kind of lettering at the top and just kind of giving myself an overview. Now, yesterday I was looking for a specific day when we had a service call on our press, and I really relied heavily on this. And as you'll see, as I get more towards March, I stopped doing that because I don't like my hand lettering But unfortunately, like, I think I need to practice to get better, and having that kind of little bit of a preview at the top is really helpful, because without even reading this journal entry, I know exactly what this is. This is when my dad fell and broke his hip in Florida, and it took several days for us to get him and my mom back up here. And so I put their back, because that was a really long few days for me, worrying about both of them being so far away and not being able to help. So having that kind of stuff, drama, dog baths, you know, just little tiny things, had a nap that day, I started feeling sick that day, is really nice to kind of just preview what is happening. And it would have saved me a lot of time looking for different press service calls if I had kind of had that at the top, because the press has been a huge issue for us since November. And so I know that it would have been something I would have definitely put at the top. So here's my March dashboard. Did not do well with that. Again, I put goals, sticker book, and a Google cell phone number. Neither one of those things I ever got done because I wasn't looking at it. So I want something that fills this up, but yet I also don't want something that I can flip the page and forget about. I need a reason to go back to this page. So like I said, still getting there, but I think I have something figured out. I'm really starting to come into my own with everything here, getting all of my to-do list and that sort of thing situated. This was when I was still segregating things by what it was for, like, so priorities, administrative work, design work, and my social media work. Towards, I think later in March, I realized that was like, I was struggling with that. Social media is always hard for me anyway, but having it at the bottom of my list was making me not get to it until later in the afternoon, which then made it a little bit, I'm tired in the afternoon. I work a long day. I'm here at 6 and I generally don't leave until 5. So it was just kind of not working. And it's just something I just kept realizing that I needed to figure out another process for. And see, here's exactly what I'm talking about. Bye-bye press. So we got rid of the press that day, and that was something I needed to look up along with some other service calls we had on it, so that I could reach out to the sales rep about credits and refunds and that sort of thing. So this was a day the big bank collapsed, the SVB bank, and that affected our payroll. So again, I just like having that at the top. I'm gonna have to figure something out and get a little bit more comfortable with at least my cursive, if not my hand lettering, to try to bring that back in. So this again is a week of the greenery kit. I loved this one. I know it's probably not everybody's favorite, but it was one of my favorite ones to use this year. So this moves into I think it was puddle jumping, 213. Okay, sorry, the mail carrier was here and I wanted to chat with them for a minute. Okay, so this moves into the puddle jumping week. I did kind of have something in there I didn't want to show, so I am going to flip through that really quickly. But then we move into Monday, March 27th week. Again, this was the spring chicken bird kit, country morning, and I just love this one. This week I used the A5 daily duo kit for my daily section, along with my per usual deco and journaling sheets. And I grabbed those little bottom boxes and went with the A5 plum daily and started using them as gratitude boxes. And that is something I have continued doing. It's nice. It's easy to complain about things and to get down on little tiny failures that happen. And I think it's good to always have something positive to remember. So this is also the week I started tracking my anxiety, because I noticed that I am kind of going through a rough patch with that, and it has gotten a little bit better, but that's how my anxiety tends to ebb and flow. It's very often related to my stress level. So I am glad that I am doing that also. I just use the little heart trackers. So this is not a reflection of how good or bad my day is, but it just kind of lets me monitor the anxiety and panic that I am experiencing. So that takes us through to the end of March, but I will go ahead and show you the rest of the week there just so you can get an idea. This is kind of what I had set up for April's dashboard. I grabbed a dashboard kit for myself. It didn't really work too well, so I won't do that again. I think I'll probably just keep some extra washi from a kit that I'm using or something like that. But I had some custom scripts cut by Sam for me, and let me know what you guys think about this font. I thought it was super fun. So it's not available for sale currently. If it's something you're interested in, let me know, and let me know what you think about that font down below. But I did just clear little header scripts for reading, watching, listening, and cleaning, because we are going through the spring cleaning time at our house. So I have gotten everything broken down into a task that I can do every Saturday or Sunday. So I've actually really made great progress, because we're only 2 weeks in and I've gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of my, I think I have about 10 or 12 tasks on here, areas of my home that I really wanted to declutter and organize and get back into tip-top shape. So I think we're going to go ahead and leave it here. I hope to be back in a couple months and we'll do another one. If you're using a planner this year, what are you using and is it working for you? I'd love to know, because while I don't plan to change from this planner this year, I still have some FOMO from time to time. So tell me what you're using and how it's working for you. Take care, guys.